What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Now with this video, we are jumping into Shazam issue number 4. Now this will be closing out this Infinite Frontier Shazam line. If you haven't been keeping up with it, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Shazam. Now, through this entire issue, we have seen that Billy, he's been having trouble trying to reach his powers. Saying the word Shazam, he has not been able to get his alter ego to him. He is not able to turn into Captain Marvel. Realizing that the Rock of Eternity had been moved, something caused it to be switched all the way over to Hell. And so with Billy making his way down to Hell, he finds the Rock of Eternity only to be met by a very familiar face. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 4, we are picking up with Shazam running into the one and only Black Adam. But this isn't the Black Adam that he knows. This Black Adam looks vastly different than the Black Adam we have. And obviously, this throws Shazam completely off, not knowing what to make of this. But Black Adam lets him know right off the bat that he is the Adam he knows. But he is a Black Adam that is from the future. Now Black Adam, he doesn't have much time to waste. So he starts going into detail about what is about to transpire. The whole reason that he was sent here in the first place. Because the wizard is the one that shot him through time, using the Rock of Eternity to shoot him back to a time where Shazam is going to be able to stop the events of the future. Or at least that is the hopes. And Black Adam lets him know that 1 million years from now, it will be the end of all creation. And that is because of the terrible unkindness. The unkindness will be released on this universe, on the multiverse, and everything will be demolished. Everything will be consumed. And we saw all of this transpire in the Future State event. We saw the unkindness come to rise. We saw the 4 riders of the apocalypse. We saw how Raven became the unkindness. And Black Adam lets him know that the future he comes from, it's dead. There is nothing there, it is only the end. They fought for as long as they could, but the wizard, he fell. He fell in battle. And with his last ounce of strength, he guided Black Adam to this spot, to this time and place, into the rock, and it would seem into a more youthful form. Now he had no clue that the journey here would be responsible for so much destruction, nor did he expect it to wind up in Hell of all places. But he came back to this very specific time because this is when it all happens. This is all when the riders happen. This is when Raven happens. Now the 4 riders of the apocalypse, they happen because of Dane, the son of the underworld. Somehow, something deep within him, it will awaken. Now Shazam at this point, he's already recognized what's going to happen. And what is going to happen is already happened. Was him coming down to Hell, and his demonic side, something awakened inside of him. And so Shazam believes that that moment has already passed. But after Dane is gone, the riders will possess 4 other individuals, and they will decimate the earth. Until a last desperate attempt, Raven will tether the demon's boundless energy to herself, and Billy will imprison her in the Rock of Eternity. That is, until the day he is responsible for her escape. And that is because of Neron. He will join forces with her, and together they will go on devouring everything until the unkindness finally turns on him. Now of course, this is a lot for Shazam, for Billy to take in. He just learned that he is going to be responsible for the end of the world, for the end of all creation. The entirety of the universe is going to get swallowed up, and it is all his fault. But Black Adam tells him that they don't have time, that he needs filled in on all of the information as quickly as possible. Now, when the wizard fell, the circuit of power, it was weakened, and the rock became vulnerable. And so when the rock was displaced, the sheer force of the impact, it opened up the doors that contained all of the great evils that were imprisoned inside the Rock of Eternity. They were all let free. But lucky for Shazam, Black Adam has spent the last couple months trying to wrangle all of them in. and he has gotten most of them with a few exceptions. Now Billy, he has to ask the question, where is the wizard? Not the wizard from your time, but the wizard from mine. And Black Adam lets him know that they are one and the same, that the wizard doesn't live in the same space and time that we do, but the possibility is out there that he is still alive. If he doesn't adhere to the confines of space and time, if he is able to be 1,000,000 years old, it is also possible that he is lost somewhere out there, somewhere outside the confines of space and time. And of course, Black Adam, he is extremely happy to hear Billy have this optimism, because that was the great thing about Shazam, about Billy Batson per se. He always had this unrelenting optimism. And we see Black Adam even hug him, saying that he's missed this. He's missed all of this for so long. But as they sit here inside of the Rock of Eternity, walking around having this conversation, we quickly realize that they're not alone. That one of those monsters that was imprisoned, one of them that was freed, is now in hot pursuit of them. And that monster is one of the deadly sins. That monster is pride. And with them both seeing pride, Black Adam says not to let her touch you. Because if pride touches you, something happens. Having some kind of new power, some kind of new ability, they have to try to stay clear. And so they make a run for it. They make a run into a cafe, what Black Adam is calling the Cafe of Eternity. Being down here all of this time, he created this place as a little safe haven for himself. While all the monsters are on the outside, he created this place to be impenetrable. Endued it with enough magic, with enough power to be able to stop any force from being able to enter or break inside of it. And so Billy, being a little bit hesitant, not sure if they can just sit down and take a break and have some coffee, that's exactly what they do. Now, of course, at this point, Billy is freaking out. He is absolutely losing it. He finds out that he is responsible for the end of the world. He's responsible for Dane. He's responsible for Raven. He's responsible for the end of creation. And he can't wonder how he's trying to figure out how Black Adam can be so nonchalant about this, can be so calm about this entire situation. Now, Shazam, he asked the question, how am I supposed to stop this? How am I supposed to save my friends and stop the end of the world if I don't even have my powers? Black Adam saying to call him Teddy, he lets him know that he can't, not in the condition he's in, and that he, more than anything, simply he needs to grow up. But he tells him that he is going to save his friends and that he is going to help him. And he tells him to say those words that he has said time and time again. And with Billy saying Shazam, we see the power transferred from Black Adam into Billy, and he can feel it. The power coursing through his body. Shazam is finally back. And this is what the wizard had given Black Adam prior to their last meeting. The wizard intending on giving it to Billy himself, but obviously he wasn't able to, being 1,000,000 years in the future. And so he gave the power to Black Adam. Giving it to Black Adam, he sent him back into time so he could give it to Billy. And we see Black Adam, he is quickly aged. And no longer having the power, we expect him to look about this way. But he lets him know that, maybe when this is all over, you could share a little bit of the power. Let me get my youthful form back. Now, of course, he tells Black Adam that he's gonna have to get in line, because right now his friend Teddy, he's in super bad shape. And if anybody is going to get the power, it's going to be Freddy. But Black Adam tells him that you don't need a visitor from the future to tell you what is going to happen. And it's something that you're gonna need to get used to, because when you live as long as they do, you're going to lose people. Even the mightiest of mortals, they are still mortal. And he lets him know that growing up, it means letting go of pride and learning how to say goodbye. But before this conversation can get any deeper, Shazam realizes now that Black Adam has been powered down, this Cafe of Eternity is no longer under protection, no longer having enchantments or charms or anything of that nature. And so it is free game. And we see Pride. Pride comes crashing in, Billy doing everything he can not to touch her. But she comes rushing in and Shazam touches her face. And this is where he's taken to Freddy's bedside. Sitting at Freddy's bedside, he's feeling tremendous guilt because he wants to be able to help his friend. Now, all he ever wanted to do was to be able to help Freddy. Their powers made it possible. And though he has tried, he believes that even the stamina of Atlas has limitations. Something happened, the power unstable, unpredictable, and turning itself on and off without warning, being wild and dangerous. That means that he can't share it anymore. If he were to share it, it would more than likely kill Freddy. And this whole time, Freddy is just trying to get him to say those words, to say them for just one time, to give him a little bit of power. Just say Shazam. But Billy learns very quickly this isn't actually Freddy. This is all a mirage. This is all an illusion to try to trick him, to get Pride the power. Because that's exactly what Pride is aiming for. To get him to say Shazam so Pride can take some of that power. And he realizes that he doesn't remember how he got here. The last thing he remembers is going against Pride, recognizing that this must be an illusion, recognizing that he hasn't said those words to transform back into Billy yet. This is all a trick from a demon, a trick to try and steal those powers away from him. But Shazam finally has to accept that he can't save his friend. He has to swallow that pride. He can't avoid it anymore. It's time to move past that pride. He has to let it go, and he has to say goodbye to one of his dearest friends. And that's what snaps him out of this illusion. Now, being snapped out of this illusion, he is finding himself directly in the fray, with Black Adam being depowered, but still trying his best to fight off Pride. They seem to be able to push her back. They seem to be able to at least scare her away. It doesn't show her being locked up. It doesn't show her being controlled or contained in any way. But what it does show us is the two of them then sitting down, with Billy feeling like that was such a real feeling. That illusion, it felt so real. And that's because the longer that these things are trapped inside of the Rock of Eternity, that is how much longer they are growing strength. And he lets him know that if he's going to contain the 4 Riders of the Apocalypse within the walls and prevent the birth of the unkindness, that he's going to need more than one champion to guard this place. Now, the whole reason that Billy has not been able to really activate his powers, how they've been malfunctioning for so long, and that's because of Black Adam. His use of the power disrupted his for all of these months. Of course, he didn't know that. He didn't know what coming back with that power from the wizard would actually do to the current timeline. Now, not sure if this power is safe to share or not. Not sure what's gonna happen. He tries to share it with Black Adam, thinking that maybe it may be stable now. It may be possible to be able to share my power now that I have come to terms with everything. And he yells Shazam, and we see the lightning bolt go into Black Adam, and he has his youth again. Now, he can give this power to Black Adam, but he's not sure how it's going to work outside of the Rock of Eternity. He's definitely not sure how it's going to work when it comes to Freddy. But as long as he holds this power, there is some kind of hope. But in the meantime, they have tons of work to do. The sooner that they recage the last of the escaped prisoners, the sooner they can restore Eternity, intercept Dane, and imprison the 4 Riders. Now, back up on Earth, we are picking up with Dane and the Teen Titans. Dane currently sitting in a medical bed with the Teen Titans surrounding him, trying to make sure that he's okay, making sure that he didn't get any kind of real damage done to him. But looking into the eyes of Dane, we see nothing but white. And he lets us know that he feels great, that he feels more like himself than he ever has. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This comic will continue on in the Teen Titans Academy issue number 8. So be sure that you're all caught up on that line as well. And this is a great story, because what we're seeing is the possibility of ending Future State, of never seeing it come to fruition, and the possibility of it being collapsed upon, with it no longer existing. It's all going to take Shazam doing that. Shazam is going to be the one to stop everything, or at least that's what it appears to be. Now, we can only assume that he is going to be enlisting the help of Wonder Woman, because the Quintessence, they said that she is the one that can prevent everything. Now, of course, obviously that's going to require the help of Shazam in some way, shape, or form. Maybe all of them get together and they hunt down the writers. Who knows what is actually going to happen? But we know that the two key characters right now is both Shazam and Wonder Woman. Those two seem to be fundamental in changing the events that cause Future State to transpire. But this one gave us tons of answers of who this Black Adam is, of what is going on with Billy's powers, why he's not able to share it, why he's been sitting here at Teen Titans Academy, not really being able to do much of anything. And Dane's real truth is being exposed. It appears that within inside of him is the four riders of the apocalypse, and eventually he is going to release them on the entirety of the world. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.